Live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello, everyone. This is Fox 12 Now. As always, I appreciate you joining us. We are live streaming here from the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom. We're on our website, we're on our apps, and we're on Facebook and YouTube. And that means, since we're on the social media side, you can comment along with the show or ask questions, since we always have some pretty great guests on here. You know who the guest is that I'm going to have on. I'm just going to bring him on here in a second. But before I even do, that's what that lower third's all about. This is our topic today. So, battery or gas-powered outdoor equipment. You may have heard about the upcoming ban on gas-powered leaf blowers in the city of Portland. That is going to be implemented. That did pass. So what are your opinions on these two things? Which one do you prefer? Do you have a preference on what kind of equipment that you use for battery or gas-powered? All of that is part of what we're going to be debating here. And to do so, joining us, of course, Eric Goranson from Around the House Northwest. And Eric, always good to have you on here on the show. And this is a topic I feel like a lot of people have opinions on.
You know, they do. And a lot of them are kind of misfounded, too, because there's so many bad rumors going around about this subject. I thought, hey, let's clear it up and play with it a little bit, because I've tried them both.
Well, let's clear up some of those things as far as, even what I was just saying there at the beginning.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I mean, would I much rather drive around a 1967 GTO versus a 2024 Tesla? Absolutely. That's me. But when it comes to outdoor power equipment, in my opinion, battery's the way to go. You get so much more power, and it's just cleaner. I don't have to store gas around the house.
So you are saying battery powered just in general is better than the gas powered?
To me, it is. And here's why. One, there are so many companies that have been doing it now. I jumped on this about 4 years ago and really changed everything over into battery stuff. So if you've got power tools around, maybe you're a DeWalt person or a Milwaukee person or a Ryobi or whatever, each one of these companies actually make their own outdoor power equipment that works with them. So instead of having to go out and buy batteries for that, you can just use some of the power tool batteries you already own.
So making it a lot more interchangeable there, as far as once you get that equipment, you've already got those batteries, you've already got that piece of it, and you don't have to worry about, like you mentioned, buying gas.
And here's the thing, if you're looking at lawnmowers, which is, one of the hottest topics out there, because people right now are trying to get their, their lawnmower started for the season. And heck, that's one of the subjects we tackle in the show this weekend, which we'll talk about later. But really, I just have to go out, put my charged battery in the lawnmower, hit the start button, and off I go pushing it. Other than cleaning up last fall, there is zero maintenance. There's no oil changes. There's no filters. There's just plugging a battery and go, just like grabbing a power tool drill that you have around the house.
I will say, as somebody who every single year battles with my lawnmower, and somehow the carburetor is always clogged. No matter what I do to prevent that from happening, it always happens. And I end up, shoving it over in my yard and probably making a spectacle of myself. So I agree. Battery powered's way easier. Way easier.
And here's the thing. It will last on power. Right now, I could go out and buy, for instance, a Greenworks, which is a pretty popular outdoor power equipment company. I can go buy one of their zero-turn lawnmowers that takes 6 of their regular Greenworks 60-volt batteries, and I can run it with 3, have 3 on their charger, and I can run that thing all day, 24/7, because 3 batteries are charging while I'm using them, and you could keep going. It's designed for single use, up to 2.5 acres of lawn. That's a lot of grass.
Wow. Yeah, that's huge. 2.5 acres that thing could go. So that's pretty impressive there. Now, what about for people who say, you don't get as much power, like instant power out of a battery?
It's actually the opposite of that. You get more power, because when you're on that riding lawnmower or you're on your push gas mower, when you hit that, like that wet grass, especially the stuff this time of year, when you're out there trying to mow it in the rain, guess what? That engine bogs down and it clogs up. But the cool thing with electric motors is they give up so much more torque. So they actually will give you a consistent RPM range, and it'll actually pull more power out of the battery when it needs it, because those things are talking to each other. So you'll actually get more power out of that lawnmower with a battery than you will with a gas, because it'll actually outperform that. If you put them right side by side on the same lawn, the battery one, if you have a decent lawnmower, will win every single time.
Wow. So there you go. What are some other things and factors that you look at when you're when you're dealing with this, when figuring out?
Again, leaf blowers are a common hot subject right now. I mean, it's all over the news as we've been talking about. I'd much rather be able to grab my battery powered leaf blower, grab the battery off the charger, throw it in there, go out, whether it's a handheld one or the backpack one. Weight difference is not really a big deal between those. And I've always got a charge and I'm not storing gas, and I don't smell like exhaust when I'm done. And that's part of the things when you're using these, like weed eaters or the weed whackers or string trimmers, whatever you want to call them. Between that and where you're mixing the fuel and doing the 2-cycle oil, that's one of those things that, I don't have enough of that, or I don't have enough of this, or I didn't mix it just right. Then you have things that are never running correctly. So you can actually go out, blow the patio off, and not smell like fuel and exhaust, which is kind of cool too.
Yeah, and just shove a battery in there and just go do it and not have to worry about it clogging up.
And it's quiet. I mean, I could go out and mow my lawn at 8 o'clock in the morning and not be worried about my neighbors going, oh my gosh, he started the lawnmower up at 8. It's not that big a deal. It's, half the decibel of a regular, gas-powered outdoor power equipment. So to me, even the chainsaws are performing now. So you're starting to see tree trimmers and people like that switch over to the outdoor power equipment with that. And even the lawn care guys, I can drive around town and see people that are running batteries. They've got the truck running a plug-in inverter in the back on their trailer, and they're just swapping batteries all day, and there's zero fuel cost to that. And if you think about a lawnmower, great example, if you go out and run that zero-turn lawnmower out there, and if you've got a nice piece of property, you're using about a gallon of gas every acre. So if you're going to do that 2.5 gallons of gas for a 2.5 acre lawn at $4 a gallon, let's say, that adds up pretty quick where you just plug it in the battery. So there's some savings in it as well.
And I'm seeing some comments, from some people on here. So Jay says rake and broom. Glenn's not enjoying the commentary on here, but nonetheless, there's opinions on all this. But you go out there and try out all of this stuff, and so this is tested. Like you test these things. And
I test these things. I've played with every single one of these brands, and again, you get what you pay for. But as long as you're on a decent battery system that's got the power, sometimes people go out and go, "Oh yeah, I used my 20-volt single battery lawnmower and tried to do my 1-acre lawn." Kind of not the right tool for that. Otherwise, you're going to be swapping those batteries out. You need to have batteries, and what you're looking for in batteries is not just the volts, but the amp hours. That's kind of the horsepower behind it. So if you get a battery with a high amp hour rating, that's got the more horsepower, and it can actually give you more power to that battery. And then you throw it on the charger for a half hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour, and it's charged back up again.
That's good to know. So that's what you look for when you want something that's powerful enough to handle something like that. Amp hour.
Absolutely. Yeah. The smaller batteries, if you're looking on the same platform, and you'll know, it doesn't matter if you're a power tool person or not, but if you're looking at the Craftsman, the DeWalt, the Milwaukees, any of those brands, you'll see it'll say it's a 18 or 20 volt, but you'll see that the different size batteries, the bigger the battery and the heavier the battery, typically the higher amp hour, and that's where the real power is.
Anything else that you think people should know about these two things?
I would take a look and get a system. I wouldn't go out and go mix up a bunch of brands. You kind of want to stick with one battery power system. So if you've got a lot of power tools, I'd probably stick with that and try to work with that. But if you're going to go out and buy a brand, take a look. I mean, everybody from Steel to any of the big name brands out there have it. I would just go down a platform so that way you can have extra batteries and you'll never run out with some simple battery management.
Yep. I've got one of those brands for most of my stuff at home too. And it is easy just to be able to swap out those batteries. I know that I always
super
have
simple,
ready to go.
And it's just I'm not going to get into any arguments on what's better for the environment. I just think it's easier to use, and I don't have to remember to go out and fill up the gas can. As long as I put it on the charger when I'm done, it's all good.
Well, there we go. So and for people who are watching live, you can leave your comments and let us know what you think. And like I said, Eric goes out and tests all this stuff, and that's part of what I don't know if we want to go ahead to Around the House Northwest if you have more on this.
This is just one of those things. I think it, again, whether we like it or not, I think these rules are changing across the country. And I think this is going to be the wave of the future, whether people like it or not. And you might as well get into it. Every year, the technology keeps getting better and better, and things get quieter, which means it's safer for you as a user, too. You can actually put your headphones in and go out and do something and enjoy it without trying to deafen yourself with the music, trying to get over the outside power equipment when it's a gasoline engine.
Yeah, and less things to have to store around, like you mentioned, not having to store the oil, the gas, get all that.
Yeah, one little tip too is what I like with the lawnmowers for people out there that have small spaces. I mean, everybody could use a little more, space in their shed or their garage. Since there's no oil or liquids in them, you can actually they'll fold up and store on end. So for the wintertime, they just take up a little bit of a square footage of your garage or storage space. So they're really space saving as well, because it doesn't matter how you store them when there's no battery in it. It could be on its side or whatever. You could just put it out, and you're not spilling oil or hurting the engine.
Well, fantastic. Well, anything else here, or should we talk about this?
Let's jump into the show, because it's kind of funny. My first segment I do is on the other side of this. We take my old gas-powered, and this is my old pressure washer that hadn't started for about 2.5 years. And we go through, rebuild the carburetor, actually put another carburetor on it and get this thing going so it's ready for spring cleanup. I hadn't used it because I had switched over to gas, from the gas to electric, and I went, let's see if I can get this thing going. It'll be a good segment for the people out there that haven't converted over. So we get it out and show you the secrets to getting these things going and ready for springtime.
Nice. I need to do that myself, so I'll probably be watching that segment. Just I haven't started mine up yet, so I hope it works. So that's great for everybody out there wanting to know how to get that thing working, which everybody's going to be working on their yards here real soon. So that's one segment of many that are on each week.
Yeah, we have a great interview, and this is cool. It's called Van Air Doors, and it's a door company, but they make doors that have airflow through them. So they actually will allow about 100 cubic feet per minute of air to go through them. But they built these grooves on the inside of the door, and so they'll move. You could actually have a door to your home office shut, but you're still getting that fresh air that's coming through. And even better, if you've got a bathroom or another type of room in the house, where maybe a laundry room where you need to have that fresh air come in, or you've got a ventilation fan going, it's really cool because it lets that air in. But the game changer is they designed it with sound deadening technology. So even though that's got that air path through it, it is actually quieter than a regular solid core door. So it's a super quiet way, and it lets you move air. So if you've got like those mini split heat pumps, and maybe the bedroom door is shut, but the heating and cooling unit is out in the living room, this will let that airflow naturally and still give you the privacy and the airflow at the same time.
That's pretty amazing. Yeah, to get both of those things at the same time. So you're going to be showing that. You've got what we were just talking about, rebuilding the pressure washer, in 2 segments out of a lot. And I don't know how much you want to give away for this week.
I'll give one more. We go through and repair a garden hose. I literally ran over the end of my garden hose in the driveway when I was doing some work, and I show you how to repair that and put a new end on it. Easy fix for under $5 instead of having to go out and buy a $40 hose.
I will need your help on that one too, because I did exactly that. So everything that comes up here, I'm like, yeah, I'm the person that you're talking to. So all right, 3 things there on this week's episode, and there's so much more. He just gave away 3 of them. So lots on every episode of Around the House Northwest. Let's let everybody know when, where, and how they can watch.
Sounds good. If you missed last week's episode, don't worry. You can catch it tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. on Fox 12 Plus. This brand new episode we're talking about, that will air Saturday at 10 a.m. and then re-air at 6 p.m. all on Fox 12 Plus. And of course, next Friday again, you'll see it again. And of course, YouTube, we got by this weekend, we'll have almost 350 episodes up on the Fox 12 YouTube page there with the playlist for Around the House. So we got a ton of content up there for you to catch up and make sure we've got the answers to your home improvement projects.
Yeah, if you're working on some project and you're like, I wonder if there's some advice on there, scroll through that. There's probably a segment on it, and that you can take a look at. So, Eric, it's always good to have you on here to talk about all this. Appreciate it very much.
Sounds good, man. And hopefully next week we'll be talking to you from the National Hardware Show in Las Vegas.
That's right. You're going down there next week. So we might get to have you live on the show floor like we did with the other show.
Yeah, we're going to give that a shot. Let's see if we can do it.
Okay, fantastic. So there's your tease for next week, everybody. So Thursdays, 1:30 p.m., somewhere around there. If it changes, I'll let everybody know, depending on since you're down there at the show. But that sounds awesome. All right, thanks, man.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
You bet. And for everybody watching, too, again, we are live here. So if it's your first time tuning in, This is Fox 12 Now. So we go throughout the afternoon and we cover a wide range of topics. So there's a lot of different segments you can check out. Like you mentioned, you can watch Eric's segments with Around the House Northwest on YouTube or our app. That's another great way to do it, or the website. We also have all the Fox 12 Now segments there as well. But what I'm going to be doing is, if you're watching on Facebook and YouTube, you're going to see this video end. I'll be back at 2 p.m. Switching gears completely, we'll be talking to the latest celebrity who was removed from The Masked Singer. So we're going to be talking to him coming up at 2 o'clock. But in the meantime, I've got more that's going to be going on over at the website and app. So I invite you to join me over there. Good time to download the Fox 12 Oregon app and hop in on that. And I will talk to you there. Otherwise, I'll be back here at 2. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.